Hey everyone. So I think we'll just go ahead and get started and get right into it. And I'd like to shout out Colleen for her first question to us. That was, how many videographers do you have and how do you match couples up with them?
Oh, good question.
That is a good question. So of course, we do have over 60 NST certified cinematographers that we have vetted by our creative director and went through an extensive vetting process to match our aesthetic, our style, our professionalism, and most importantly, our equipment. So they do need to align with our talents especially, so that way they align with our vision and our creativity as well. Yeah. We do have our talent manager as well, who is assigning all of the teams for our weddings. So our talent manager is in control of the cinematographers and making sure that they are being dispatched accordingly.
If we've been to your venue before, definitely we'll be sending out the same cinematographers. So I know, for example, Dropping Roundhouse over here, we're there almost every week in the summertime, and so the same cinematographer who has a great understanding of the venue typically is dispatched out just so that they know where are the nooks and crannies to have that perfect photo shoot, just in case if you needed some additional options for yourselves.
Let's move on to our next question from Melissa. What are the popular trends for film in 2018?
Obviously, drone coverage. You've probably seen a million of our samples with drone now. It's really nice to have a dedicated drone operator dispatch out to your wedding day. And there's just something so magical about looking up in the sky and seeing this drone capture you guys and you waving high at it. Maybe a little bit cheesy, but everyone seems to love that, especially the wedding party. And just a great selling point, to your fiance. Usually the grooms are really into tech. And they love having the drone on the day of, so it's really fun to kind of incorporate that for the day. Some other popular trends that we're kind of seeing is engagement films. Engagement films are a great way for you, an alternative way for you to send someone a save the date for your day of. And it's nice because you'll have that one-on-one time with a cinematographer and get to feel comfortable in front of a camera, receive some direction, and then we can always align this with some save the dates, with photo sessions with your photographer. So we typically like to shoot, usually in the industry, we typically like to shoot from Monday to Friday. It takes a couple of hours, but definitely the product is about 3 minutes long, and we'll definitely share some of our most recent save the date films for you to kind of take a look at there. And then the last trend that I'm really loving is 4K coverage. 4K is amazing, and I say this because it's more of like an investment into your future. Keep in mind, your wedding film is an heirloom. You expect to watch this 10, 20, 50 years from the day from your wedding day, and you want to be able to see the great quality and have that quality maintained throughout the years to come after your wedding day. So as you tune in again and again, our tech in the world, everything is updating. So what really 4K coverage means is that there's more pixels on a screen. There's over 4,000 pixels, and it really enhances the picture quality. And it's 1080p. That's the standard as of right now, but maybe in 10 years, everything will be in 4K. I do forecast that to be a possibility. So 4K is really cool. And a lot of people, and we'll definitely share a link of what some of our 4K coverage looks like as well, but great investment as well.
Absolutely, and feel free to even email us over in case you wanted to see those samples. We're happy to send them to you directly to your email, so that way you have them, you can review them, and take a look for yourself. So I'd like to move on to our third question from Ava. What kind of audio equipment does NST use? So we are using wireless lav mics that we typically, our cinematographers will attach to the lapel of the suit or the tux. We do usually mic up the groom and the officiant to ensure we're picking up quality audio. And of course, we also like to have the audio on the cameras that the cinematographers are using as well for that backup. So we're ensuring that we're getting crystal clear audio through our wireless lav mics, as well as our team who are a little bit more mobile with the cameras. Anything else you'd like to add regarding the
Yeah, and so typically, you know, in terms of the ceremony and the reception portion, that's when audio quality really matters, because you want to be able to hear your vows if you have some personal vows. So what we typically like to do is either, you know, as Christina mentioned, mic up the groom and the officiant, and then on top of that, just to kind of as another backup, we also like to plug into the sound system that's available. That's always really nice, especially if you have a live band on the day of. You want to be able to hear what your live band was playing or performing on the night of, and to the songs that you're dancing to. So you'll definitely hear that in the background of all of your edits, especially your spotlight edit.
We also have a great alternative or another option to add on an audio engineer who is really a key professional and will ensure that you're getting great quality audio for your ceremony and into your reception as well, by controlling the different levels of the sound and controlling and maintaining all the sound that is being fed into the wireless lav mics, to the speakers, to the cameras. So always a good option in case you want to take it to the next level with audio. I'd like to move into our next question from Jamie. What are the pros and cons to having a first look, Farrah?
Oh, I love this question.
That's your favorite question.
It's always a 50-50 whether or not couples opt to do a first look. Some people like to keep it more traditional and have the actual first look down the aisle. Some people like to kind of take some time outside of ceremony and have a lot of time to take pictures, because right after first look, we're expecting to do some portrait sessions, especially with the couple themselves, family portraits, as well as bridal party portraits. So some obvious pros is you kind of get the pictures out the way, you have hair, makeup looking great because it's the beginning of the day. So that's always really nice. And then towards after ceremony, during cocktail hour especially, you can always utilize cocktail hour to greet your guests and say hi and thank them for coming. That's always a key point as to why most people like to have a first look followed by portrait sessions.
Right.
Some cons, obviously, you're not actually having the first look down the aisle, and for some people that's really important. So definitely, either way, which you sway. If you want to have you know, the actual first look down the aisle and keep it a little bit more traditional, that's why we have 2 cinematographers. That's why we bring 3 cameras for the ceremony. We make sure we can get the groom's reaction for you, and that's kind of the key, one of the key shots that we do require from our cinematographers on the day of.
Right, you definitely want to see that reaction walking down the aisle.
I'm proud supporter of #Team Groom Tears.
Yes.
Because I think that makes or breaks a film sometimes. But obviously, you know, with all of our films, they're beautiful. With or without groom tears, it's just a nice added touch to see, you know, someone getting a little bit emotional and showing your family and friends, you know, how much they love their partner and soon-to-be spouse.
So we have a final question here from Alexandra. And what time should I conclude my video coverage?
Ooh.
That's a very good
question too.
Very tricky question. So as much as we all are planning for a live day, we want to make sure that we're getting the best coverage as possible and making sure that we want what we want covered. So typically we find ourselves concluding somewhere around a cake cutting, starting with preparations for that really, you know, full day of coverage, starting with preparations, you know, capturing first looks or, you know, right into the ceremony for walking down the aisle, followed by photo sessions, ceremony, cocktail, and the important parts in the reception, first dances, speeches, toasts, traditional dances. So I think that, you know, usually when we find ourselves concluding around a cake cutting, that is a solid time for us to have everything we need to make a really gorgeous trailer film.
Definitely.
Since we have all those different elements that help, you know, weave a story and elaborate on your day through film. So I think that's usually a sweet spot for us. I find it for, I'd probably say about 85% of the time, 90% of the time, we're ending around that cake cutting. However, some couples want that fuller coverage. So they want to start at the very beginning and possibly end somewhere around the very end of the reception party. So if you're doing that, you know, unique send-off or sparkler exit, you know, there's definitely so many fun ways, and we've seen so many through film. Farrah, what's your favorite one? Your favorite exit?
I don't know, speeding off in a speedboat, fireworks.
That's awesome. I love
Renting
those.
a Austin Healey. I mean, all of them.
Totally.
I wish I could have them all.
Yeah, imagine you do every single one. So, so I think that, if you want to have the option to extend that coverage, you totally can.
Yeah.
We're very flexible in terms of extending your time if you feel that you needed that extra hour or two to bring you to the send-off. It is a live day, so things can run a little bit behind. So no worries there. We have that flexibility for you. And it's really up to you and what you feel is most important and what you would like to see in return for your film. So the more coverage you have, the more we're able to work with the footage and create something really beautiful and awesome for you. So I think that cake cutting time would be ideal, but if you wanted that fuller coverage to get you to the send-off, then we'd be happy to stay a little extra to the end and capture that for you.
Definitely. And also not out of the question, if you want us to capture after party as well, we're happy to do that. I know some of our past couples have done a killer karaoke hour, and we were able to capture that for them on film. And so it's fun to rewatch all of these moments, especially sitting down with family and friends, and kind of get those snippets into your feature films. And definitely something for you to sit back and kind of laugh with friends again about that.
Absolutely. And sometimes, because we do offer the raw footage as well, you might even catch those bloopers.
Someone doing a worm.
Yeah, or trying to light up the sparkler or gather everyone together, right? So all the behind the scenes stuff. So so that kind of concludes our questions that we have today. So in case you have any questions, feel free to DM us. We'll be happy to answer them directly for you. Well, we hope you have an amazing weekend, and
Happy New Year.
we'll be tuning in next week for all your questions and comments. Awesome.
Bye.
Bye everyone.